Hi, I'm Joe. One night in 2009, my friend Jamie, aka Heed, made the suggestion that a group of us should go hike the Grand Canyon. We were all a little drunk that night, but we all agreed to go. We had no idea what we were getting into, and as it turns out, I especially had no business being there. But I had loaded up my comically oversized backpack with beef stew and my favorite jeans, and I was bound by the bro code. I had to go. This old man was 99% positive I was going to die and wanted to take the last known photo of me. It was almost as if God sent him as some sort of sarcastic angel. The tone of his voice was so thick with doubt, he might as well have said, "See you soon." We started down the trail, and by mid-afternoon, I was minutes away from having a heat-related emergency. It had pushed me to my absolute physical and mental limits, but I made it out, and ultimately it rekindled something inside of me I had flat-out ignored since my youth, my love of the outdoors. It also ignited a passion for something I never thought much about, even though it was practically in my backyard, the Grand Canyon. 10 years later, I can honestly say the Grand Canyon has changed me. I've gone from being another potential casualty to a seasoned veteran. I've made 13 trips below the rim. I've hiked hundreds of miles and spent dozens of days and nights in amazement at what the Grand Canyon offers around every turn. I've spent hours in agony and experienced moments of pure bliss. I've had amazingly deep conversations with my best friends one minute, only then to trade the world's best fart jokes with them the next. I've hiked through an epic snowstorm and extremely brutal heat. I've shared a tent and a pot of stew with my dad. I've shared wine and watched the sunset with my wife. And I've sat with my feet in the river that created it all, the mighty Colorado. I've been places only a tiny fraction of the world ever gets to see in person, but there's one thing I haven't done yet, and that's hike the Grand Canyon solo.
This is always the sort of the worst part of the trip, the anticipation, driving to the canyon. You're excited, you want to get there, but you got a long day ahead of you. It's kind of going to hurt a little bit, but at the same time, you can't wait to get there. You think sort of, should I go do this? Do I have everything I need? But then you figure out, hey, this isn't your first rodeo. You've done this before. So let's go have some fun. Well, I'm walking up to the trailhead right now. It's about 11:30. Got a little bit later start today than I wanted, but it was cold. So we are currently at 7,000 feet, and we will be at about 2,500 feet when all is said and done. All right, here we go. So behind me you can kind of see the same view that you saw up there from Ooh Point, but without all the crowds. So I'll flip the camera around and get some better footage of it, but what an incredible view. Trail's way more crowded today than I've ever really seen it, but I guess it's one of the byproducts of getting such a late start this morning. Usually we're out here pretty early, so that's all right though. Further down we go, more it'll thin out. So this is a skeleton point here behind me, or that we're standing on here. This is sort of this is where the hike gets real here. I call it skeleton point because if you're not prepared after this spot, that's what you become. I'm kidding, I have no idea. But I certainly wouldn't screw around up here. So there is the first glimpse of the Colorado. You kind of always get to play river roulette when you get down here. Will the Colorado be brown or will it be green? Looks like we hit brown this time. Probably from all the rain we've had here in Arizona the last couple of weeks. So, but that's all right. But that's where we're going. In fact, that green swath down there, that is Phantom Ranch. So, almost there. So that's the switchbacks. We're going to start down here. Not fun, but once we get past that, it's sort of the hardest part. Well, kind of got done with the biggest chunk of those switchbacks. Not fun, let me tell you. But it's alright. We're doing good. About just exactly 2 hours into the hike. So probably got about another hour to go, I would say. So just leaving the tip off here. Call it the tip off because it's sort of the final push down to Phantom. So we're going to make the push, I guess. I don't know what else to say. Feeling good though. We're 2.5 hours into the hike, and the weather's great still, and feeling pretty good. Legs are a little tired, but not too bad. So let's get down to Phantom, get camp set up, go have a steak dinner, right? Damn right. So we're getting there. Down there's the river and the bridge. Once we cross that, pretty much there. But these switchbacks, oh boy, do they suck. They suck. I said before that the ones coming off of Cedar Ridge were shitty, but I don't know, it might be a toss-up. Made it down, crossing the ready to cross the bridge here into Phantom Ranch. So the river, that's the boat beach down there, and that's where the river rafting trips stop. Parked their boats there on the beach. But here we go. Well, we're officially here. Welcome to Phantom Ranch. Now, let's go find us a campsite. So here we are walking into Phantom Ranch itself. The campground is technically Bright Angel Campground, so, but this is Phantom Ranch. Lots of staff cabins and stuff. They also have cabins and dorms you can rent down here if you want to stay there, or if you take the mule down or something like that. But the best part down here is they have a canteen, which you get yourself a beer or go have dinner like we're gonna go do. We're gonna head in the general direction of Ribbon Falls. Whether we get there or not is a different story. It's about 5.5 miles from Phantom Ranch to Ribbon. So we'll see, but it's a really pretty hike nonetheless. So we'll get some good footage out here. Show you guys what it's all about. Alright, well, change of plans. Ribbon Falls is almost 13 miles round trip, and quite frankly, I don't know if I have it in me. So we're gonna climb up here to the Clear Creek overlook, maybe walk along the Clear Creek trail a little bit, just see. I've never been up here before. I have been to Ribbon Falls before, so you know, climb up here, see what what there is to see. Well, I think we're at the overlook. If you look down there, maybe you can see the buildings from Phantom. I don't know if the shadows are too dark, but there's Phantom Ranch right below us. But God, look at this view. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's the river down there. You can see the switchbacks yesterday that we came down right there, down to the Black Bridge. Maybe a little later we'll go over, take the river trail across. See, I've never really done that either. What a great view up here. That's where we started, up there. We'll finish up there somewhere where the rock changes color there, where it's a little more tan, not red.
I spent about 20 minutes sitting at the Clear Creek overlook before heading a little further up the trail. As you continue up in elevation, the views get even more stunning. You can see the Colorado to the east, which is not a view you get a lot of in the Phantom Ranch area. I met a nice group of hikers from Tucson, and even though they were U of A Wildcat fans, we had a good conversation about the Canyon and Phoenix Suns basketball. There were 3 generations of family in the group, grandfather, father, and sons, all together sharing the experience. No cell phones, no email, no Xbox, just the sun, the wind, and the canyon. We figured out we were in campsites directly across from one another and talked for a few more minutes before going our separate ways. I decided to head back down and venture a little further up the North Kaibab Trail before ultimately heading back to camp and having some lunch. And then it was off to explore the river trail.
Alright, so we're going to go check out the river trail. Never really done the river trail, but the river trail is a little like mile-long bypass between the 2 bridges, so in case one of the bridges ever goes out, you're not stuck down here. So it's pretty cool. It's up along the canyon wall here, so let's go check it out. Here we are at the start of the river trail. Just came over Silver Bridge. So let's see where it goes. See why they call it the river trail. See there where the creek empties into the river right there. Cool. And here we are at the end where it meets up with South Kaibab.
I enjoyed my time at Phantom Ranch. I always do. It's a great little oasis tucked between the canyon's monolithic walls, a respite from the heat of the canyon or the cold of the rim, a place that requires you earn the right to visit. There is no easy way to Phantom Ranch. By foot, by raft, or mule are your only options in or out. And while I could spend many more days by the creek without a care in the world, I'm excited to move on to my favorite part of the trip, the 4-mile hike to Indian Garden.
All right, it is Saturday, and we are just before 7. And we are walking out of Phantom Ranch on the way to Indian Garden. This is my favorite part of the hike, so we'll show you some good stuff. All right, well, leaving Phantom Ranch. One of the most epic views in the canyon. There we go. Onward and upwards. So right here, the trail turns from gravel and rocks to sand. I hate sand. But it only does this for a little while. Then you're back to breaking your ankles on the rocks. Got some old National Park Service equipment or mining equipment or something out here on the side of the trail. It's kind of cool. Alright, so we sort of made the turn away from the river, and we're going to start heading in to the inner gorge here, up to Indian Garden. Here's basically the last shot of the river we'll see on this trip. This is so great back in here. So cool. You know, once you lose all the noise of the river, it's so peaceful, tranquil. I think they're the same thing. I always love this part of the hike. The nice part is too is that this trail is in the shade a good part of the day, or at least a good part of the morning. So even in the summertime, if you get up early enough, you can hike in the shade. All right. Here's the start of the infamous Devil's Corkscrew. So here we are, about 2/3 of the way up on Devil's Corkscrew. You can see a trail there, even though I'm shooting into the sun. So down there, you can sort of see the remnants of the old trail. The original path of the trail kind of comes right up the side here, and then eventually comes out right at the top right there. They sort of done their best to disguise it, but kind of comes down. There's not much of it left, but that was the old path of the Bright Angel Trail till they rerouted it. So here we are kind of at the top. And as we turn the corner here, we're going to head back into Indian Garden. Not a whole lot of elevation left for today. That was sort of the hardest part. But nice little walk back through here. So. Here's the campground. This has sort of become my de facto spot. I've had this campsite the last 3 times I've been here. And I think I'm gonna set up here again. There's supposed to be some weather coming in tonight, so right now I'm walking out to Plateau Point while the weather's still good, just so I can get some footage and show you guys Plateau Point in case the weather turns bad tonight, because you do not want to be out here if there's lightning. It is the definition of exposed. So we'll go out here, we'll see this, and then if the weather is good tonight, maybe I'll come back out and see if I can get some sunset video and that sort of stuff. So but let's go check it out now. is 6:45 on Sunday morning, and we're just leaving Indian Garden. Time to hike out of here. 4.5 miles to the top, and then we're all done. Alright, so just got up to the first rest house here on Bright Angel Trail. See it up there behind me. So it means we're a third of the way done. We got about 3 miles left to go. Well, I just got to 1.5 mile rest house, and it started hailing. So there'd been some thunder on the way up here, so I was glad to get here. But now it's hailing, so glad I'm here. I feel like it's gonna get a lot more crowded in here real quick. There's the storm. We kind of just waited out there a little bit. Seems like it's okay here for now anyway, so we're pretty close to the top, so I'm just gonna make a run for it here. Well, not run, lumber slowly to the top, but you know what I mean. That's where we were this morning, that big green swath down there. It's Indian Garden. And you can see out there on the plateau, that trail all the way out. That's the one that goes out to Plateau Point. So let's get this hike done. What do you say?
So there it is, my solo adventure of the Grand Canyon. I enjoyed the experience in the solitude. It wasn't the hardest or most isolated hike the Grand Canyon has to offer, but it was a chance to reflect on my canyon journeys over the years and understand how far I've come, literally and figuratively. It also reaffirmed what I already knew, that sharing the adventure with friends and family is part of what makes it great. Maybe that's why I felt the need to make this movie. Hopefully it inspires you to take your own journey. But for now, I'll say thank you for watching, and maybe we'll meet on the trail one day.